So thanks for taking the time to come in, Governor. I know you're busy and everybody wants to meet with you these days. I'll start off with something completely out of left field. Senate Bill 324.
Really? You think that's out of left field?
You indicated to the Register Guard on Monday that you do intend to sign it, and Kristen had told me as much earlier this week. When do you intend to sign it?
Sometime this week, I would anticipate.
Okay. And are you committed to signing it in its current form? You do have line item veto authority.
That is actually a great question. I'm committed to the goal of Senate Bill 324, and that is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. As you know, Eric, Oregon has already seen the negative effects of global climate change. We're seeing it in a number of parts of the state where we're seeing signs of severe drought. And obviously, one of the issues that I talked to the legislative leadership about was wildfire, and dealing with fire this summer. I also believe that Senate Bill 324 is part of a larger global, larger collaborative strategy that our neighbors have been working on for a period of time, including British Columbia, Washington, and California. So both Washington and California have moved forward and are keeping their end of the bargain. I think it's important that Oregon keeps its end of the bargain as well. And there's some clear intended consequences, for example, reducing the carbon intensity of our fuels moving forward. However, as you know, there have been raised both on the House and the Senate floor a number of concerns about unintended consequences. And I have both the power of the veto pen, though I'm not threatening to use it to here and right now, but I also have the ability to use my executive toolkit to tackle some of the potential unintended consequences, and I'm fully prepared to do that.
And how would you do that?
A couple of ways. For example, the Department of Agriculture could conduct an impact on food prices, agricultural costs, and markets. We could also use the direct DEQ to assess production impact for all alternative fuels, including biofuels, so we have a clear apples-to-apples comparison. So those are some of the ways that I can take my tools and direct state agencies as we move forward in the implementation process. The other way I can, frankly, is to work with Republicans and Democrats as we move forward on a transportation package and work to address some of the concerns that were raised on both the House and the Senate floor. So we can continue to negotiate. Obviously, I need both sides at the table to conduct those negotiations, but that's what I'd like to do.
So what I hear you saying is that you intend to sign the bill in its current form and use your executive toolkit to track the effects of the legislation going forward.
I would say even prior to tracking the effects, but as we are implementing the legislation and may see unintended consequences, to tackle those as we move forward.
Do you have the line item authority to veto the emergency provision of the bill?
I believe I do, yes.
And do you have any thoughts about whether you might do that?
I don't at this point in time. It's certainly something that's under consideration. It's pretty unlikely that I would do that.
What is the emergency aspect of this?
Great question. I think the emergency is the fact that Oregon, along with the entire West Coast region, is seeing the impacts of global climate change. As you know, large parts of California are undergoing what I would consider extreme drought. We have over 1 million Oregonians that are being impacted by drought as we speak. I'm going to be signing some emergency declarations in both Malheur and Harney counties this week. So we're seeing the impacts of climate change here in Oregon, and we're seeing it throughout the entire West Coast. One of the advantages about working in concert with our West Coast partners is by virtue of the fact that we're all working together. California, Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia literally are 1/5 of the world's economy. So we can have a huge impact on this issue, and I think it's an opportunity for us to move forward.
And so, which do you consider more important for Oregon? Following through with the low carbon fuel standard or producing a transportation funding package this legislative session?
I think they're absolutely both important.
One not even a little bit more important than the other?
As you've heard, I'm committed to working very hard on delivering on a transportation package. If it takes longer than this session, it might, but I'm willing to work with Republicans and Democrats to make that happen. I've already had a number of meetings with the business community and look forward to working with folks.
And do you have any basis for any confidence whatsoever that you'll have any support at all for a transportation package from Republicans this session if you sign Senate Bill 324?
I think what I would say is that the state of Washington, the Senate, which is controlled by Republicans, was able to move forward on a transportation package, and Washington State is moving forward on implementing their clean fuels program. So that is one sign of hope that I have. And I'm willing to negotiate with House and Senate Republicans. I believe the Senate Democrats and the House Democrats are willing to negotiate as well.
Are you in essence sort of holding open, saying that to the Republicans, hey, negotiate it with us on the transportation bill, and maybe we can work out some things to take care of some of your concerns on the clean fuels bill?
I would say I've certainly had some conversations with Republicans. I would just say that my door is open and I'm willing to have a conversation.